Hello ladies and gentlemen, here I am, and we're going to take a look at what's called the sine law and the cosine law. Do not confuse that with SOHCAHTOA, with the trigonometry of right triangles. This is going to be trigonometry of non-right triangle. And I can't emphasize that enough. What we're dealing with now are non-right angled triangles. Okay? And it's called the sine law, and it's called the cosine law. And to be honest, you've done this before. But we're going to go over it, and so you become experts at it. So we're going to start off with the sine law. Now the sine law says that if I take the sine of any angle, divide it by the side opposite it, that'll equal the sine of any other angle in the triangle, divided by the side opposite it, which will be equal to the sine of the third angle, divided by the side opposite it. Now, since we know that all of these are equal, it's also true that the reciprocals will be equal. And just to sort of talk about that, I'm going to find a scrap piece of paper that I can use here. Here's one. And so if I tell you that 7 over 21 is equal to 1 over 3, then what's true is that those reciprocals will be equal. 21 over 7 is equal to 3 over 1. And you'll notice that that is in fact true. So if it works this way, then the reciprocals will also be equal to each other, which is just what we've done here. So the bottom side length is now on the top, and the sine of the angle is on the bottom. Now, those are formulas, and they're really good to know, but I have a hard time remembering formulas. So I'm going to be looking at patterns. And basically the pattern that I'm looking for is the angle A, or I don't even care about A. The sine of this angle will divided by the side opposite it will be equal to the sine of that angle divided by the side opposite will be equal to the sine of that angle divided by the side opposite. Or this side divided by the sine of the angle opposite it will equal this side divided by the sine of the angle opposite it, and this side will be equal, this side divided by the sine of the angle opposite it will be equal to the other ratios. And there you go. Cosine law. Cosine law, these are the formulas. Not a big fan of memorizing formulas, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. If I'm trying to get this side, okay, what I do is I know that it's going to be this side squared equals this side squared plus this side squared. Take away 2, this side times this side. Cosine, hence it's called the cosine law, the angle opposite the side I want. Okay, now I'm going to do that again. Watch. It's this side squared is going to equal the other two side squares. Subtract 2. That's the part you got to remember. The other two sides cosine the angle opposite the side I'm after. Oops. There you go. Now if we check this, it's going to be the same as this formula. Right down here. And lo and behold, it is. But notice I didn't use a formula. I used a pattern. Okay. The pattern for the angles that I would use, let's say I wanted to find this angle. I would say that cosine B is equal to the other two sides, so A and C, A squared plus C squared, minus the side opposite the angle that I'm after, B squared, over top of 2 other two sides, A and C. And I think you're going to notice that this formula is actually equal to what's written here. And it is. But notice up here I did it by noticing the relationship. That's how I'm going to do these questions. Okay, so now we're going to have a couple of examples to go over. Here's the first one. So I'll do a question with you. In triangle RST, they give me angle S, angle T, and angle R, and side length R. So we got to build this. So it's triangle RST. Let's see here. Let's do something that looks like this. Now my diagram might not look right once I put the numbers in. Let's take a look. So if I make this R, S, T, angle S will be here at 40. Angle T will be here at 21. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look bad. And side length R will be 46 centimeters. Okay, so you got to build the triangle sometimes. The question asks us to find the length of side T. Well, psi t is over here. To get that, I'm going to take a look at what I have. I have two angles and a side. So I want this side. Notice I have the angle opposite it. Notice I have this side, but I don't know the angle opposite it. Notice I have this angle, but I don't know the side opposite it. If I either knew this side or this angle, I could work out, using the sine law, what t equals. I need another ratio here. Well, the easiest thing to do is use the angle sum of a triangle theorem, which says that all the angles inside a triangle have to add up to 180. So 180 minus 40 minus 21 is going to be 119. So that's 119 degrees. Now, it doesn't look like it. I'm okay with that if you're okay with that. I'm not going to redraw my triangle. I know that that should be a lot wider, but I'm okay with it. And what that means is I now know this angle, I know this side length, so I can say that this is equal to 46 over the sine of 119. Now, let's work that out again. I'm using the sine law. This side divided by the sine of the angle opposite it will equal this side divided by the sine of the angle opposite it. Now notice I don't need this one. I only need two ratios and an equal sign to be able to solve. I'm going to solve for t. So we're going to rearrange this. Sine of 21, that's just a number, times 46 over top of sine of 119. Using your calculator. My calculator, I type in 21 first and I hit sine. Times 46 and I hit equals. Divided by 119 sine and I hit equals. That means that t is going to be equal to approximately 18.8. It's said to the nearest centimeter, so approximately 19 centimeters in length. And that's example 1. So I'm going to stop here so I can start a new video, and I'll do example 2.